Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Simple English podcast, where we talk about everyday topics in a way that's fun and easy to understand. I'm your host, Lisa, and today we're diving into a question I think we've all asked ourselves at some point. Why are we so addicted to social media? Think about it. You pick up your phone to check the time, and boom! 20 minutes later, you're watching videos of cats dancing, reading comments on a stranger's post, or scrolling endlessly through TikTok. Sound familiar? Yeah, me too. Today I have a fantastic guest joining me, Chris, a behavioral psychologist and tech enthusiast. As always, don't forget to check out the free PDF file in the comment section below to get the full transcript and vocabulary for this episode. Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey Lisa, thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat about this because, honestly, even as a psychologist, I find myself reaching for my phone more often than I'd like to admit.
Same here, Chris. But first, let me ask you this. What's the most time you've spent on social media in a day?
Oof, probably around 5 hours? And that's me being honest. How about you?
I'd say 5 hours too, but that doesn't include the time I pretend I'm researching for this podcast. So, Chris, let's get to the heart of it. Why are we so addicted to social media? What's going on in our brains?
Great question, Lisa. It all comes down to dopamine, a chemical in our brain. Every time we get a like, a comment, or even a notification, our brain releases dopamine. It's like a tiny reward system.
Oh, wow, like getting a gold star in school.
Exactly. And just like with any reward, we crave more. It's why we keep checking our phones, hoping for that little burst of happiness.
So you're saying social media is like candy for our brains?
That's a perfect analogy. But it's not just dopamine. Social media also plays with something called social validation. We feel good when people like our posts or share them. It's as if the world is saying, hey, you matter.
Okay, but doesn't that make us kind of needy? Like, why do we need strangers to tell us we're doing okay?
It's human nature. Think about it. Humans have always been social creatures. In the past, being part of a group meant survival. Fast forward to today, and social media is just the modern version of that group.
That's fascinating. But isn't this a bit dangerous? Like, I've heard people compare social media to gambling.
You're absolutely right. Social media platforms are designed to keep us hooked. Features like the endless scroll, notifications, and even the color red for alerts are all carefully chosen to grab our attention. It's called persuasive design.
Ah, like how casinos don't have clocks, so you lose track of time.
Exactly. Social media companies want us to spend as much time on their platforms as possible because, well, more time equals more ads, which equals more money.
Sneaky. But Chris, is everyone equally addicted? Or are some groups more affected?
Good question. Studies show teenagers and young adults are the most affected. Their brains are still developing, so they're more sensitive to rewards.
Makes sense. I've seen teens practically glued to their phones.
Yeah, but it's not just teens. Even adults can fall into the trap, especially during stressful times. Remember the start of the pandemic? Social media usage skyrocketed because people wanted connection.
True. I think I joined like 3 new Facebook groups back then.
Me too. Another thing to consider is fear of missing out, or FOMO. People check social media constantly because they don't want to miss an event, a trend, or even just a funny meme everyone's talking about.
Oh, FOMO is real. I once stayed up till midnight just to see if my post hit 100 likes.
Exactly. That's the kind of behavior social media encourages. And then there's the comparison trap. People see someone else's perfect vacation photos or career milestones and start feeling inadequate.
Oh, totally. Like you're sitting at home in pajamas eating cereal for dinner, and someone else is posting pictures from a beach in Bali.
Exactly. But here's the thing, Lisa. Most of what we see on social media isn't the whole truth. People share the highlight reel of their lives, not the behind the scenes struggles.
So true. It's like comparing someone's movie trailer to your unedited daily life.
Exactly. Recognizing this can help us step back and realize that social media isn't always as glamorous as it seems.
Great point, Chris. But let me ask you this. Is quitting social media the only solution, or can we use it without getting addicted?
It's definitely not about quitting entirely. Social media has its benefits, connecting with friends, learning new things, or even promoting businesses. The key is mindful usage.
Mindful usage? Like setting boundaries?
Exactly. For instance, turning off unnecessary notifications, setting time limits, or even scheduling social media detox days can make a huge difference.
I love that idea. It's like taking back control instead of letting social media control you. All right, Chris, let's switch gears for a second. Time for a fun fact. Did you know the average person spends about 2 hours and 31 minutes on social media every day?
That's like 1/7 of your waking hours. And you know what's crazier? If you add it up, that's over 5 years of your life spent scrolling.
5 years? I could have learned a new language, mastered the guitar, or, okay, let's be honest, watched even more cat videos.
Yep. And get this. The most popular app worldwide right now is TikTok, with users spending about 52 minutes a day on it. That's just the average.
Wow, no wonder it's so addictive. Short, entertaining videos are like potato chips. You can't stop at just one. Chris, this has been such an eye-opening conversation. Before we wrap up, do you have any advice for our listeners who might feel like they're spending too much time on social media?
Definitely. First, set time limits. Most phones now have features to help you track your screen time. Second, try a phone-free zone, like your bedroom or dinner table. And lastly, find offline hobbies. Read a book, go for a walk, or call a friend instead of just texting.
Great tips. I love the idea of a phone-free dinner. I'll have to try that.
It's tough at first, but trust me, it's worth it.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks so much for joining us, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Lisa. And remember, everyone, it's okay to use social media. Just don't let it use you.
All right, folks, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Simple English Podcast. We'll see you next time. Now it's time to learn some important vocabulary related to the topic. The first word of today is dopamine. It means a chemical in the brain that is associated with feelings of pleasure and reward. Example, social media triggers dopamine release, making it hard to stop scrolling. Next word is validation. It means the recognition or affirmation that someone's feelings or opinions are worthwhile. Example, many people seek validation through likes and comments on their posts. Next word is persuasive design. It means features in a product or app designed to influence user behavior. Example, the endless scroll is a persuasive design feature that keeps users on social media longer. Next word is addiction. It means the inability to stop doing or using something, often to the point where it becomes harmful. Example, social media addiction can affect mental health and productivity. Next word is FOMO, fear of missing out. It means anxiety that something exciting or interesting is happening elsewhere and you're not part of it. Example, FOMO drives people to check social media constantly. Next word is comparison trap. It means the habit of comparing oneself to others, often leading to feelings of inadequacy. Example, falling into the comparison trap on Instagram can lower self-esteem. The last word is engagement. It means interaction between users and content, such as likes, comments, or shares. Example, higher engagement on posts makes users feel more connected to their audience. Thank you for listening to our episode of the Simple English Podcast. I hope you learned something new and helpful today. Please give us a like and subscribe for video like this. Share it with your friends, and let us know what you think in the comments section below. We'll be back with more interesting discussions soon.